Welcome to the Connect Like Minds podcast. I'm the host, Sharryse. I interview people making a difference in their communities and in their creative spaces. Today's special guest is a military service member and the founder and CEO of Support Her Boots, which focuses on supporting female veterans. Welcome to the Connect Like Minds podcast, Joie Cook.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm happy to have you on. I hope you come back, and I'm sure you'll come back.
Yes. Let's talk about.
Yeah, we do. So let's get right into it. Tell everyone where you're from.
That's usually a hard question for somebody that's a military brat and also currently serving. But I would say I was born in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
Where I was raised was something different because that's Savannah, Georgia, Beaufort, South Carolina, Quantico, Virginia. Of course, Charlotte, where I came to Jacksonville from. So I would kind of say from just from all over. But
Man, from the East Coast, seems like.
Pretty much, yeah, the East Coast. I've been to the West Coast. I don't remember that those parts when we went over there, but for the most part, I remember the North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, and then Georgia. So.
Okay, cool. Now, you're the founder of a nonprofit. What's the earliest memory that you have of wanting to be of service to people?
The earliest memory, I probably would say even the high school. Like I said, most of my family is about 99% military, especially on my dad's side. So I saw a lot of uncles, my aunts. I grew up seeing a uniform, not knowing what certain things meant. I just around the house, I just thought this was something special, until I actually came into it. But as far as being of service, I mean, my mom's a retired teacher, so she taught pre-K, kindergarten, third grade, first grade. My dad was a social worker. So I guess what I would say, when I didn't know what to call it, social work, I didn't know that was the word for it. I just saw, we help. We do this at church. We give out food. We do have to get dragged to go help the seniors in there over here. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like you're a social worker. It was just like, no, let's go. We get in the car. We help people nursing home. So, but now that I know, the name for that is social work, social determinants of health, and help people in the community. And so, I mean, that goes back to growing up in church, and they would have us as, teens and stuff to help out and do, community service projects or volunteer projects. So I probably would say even high school, I was in ROTC, middle school, and high school, and college,
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I've been in ROTC for a very long time now. So yeah, I would say probably going back would probably be around middle school, high school.
Before I transition into this next question, and because you just brought up ROTC and you said you did it in college, did you become an officer after college from ROTC, or are you teaching ROTC? Like, how is that still a part of your life right now?
I wish. No, I did not get commissioned. That was on the gold vision board back then. But, that did not come to come to pass. Ended up going through camp, and that's the same summer I had my daughter.
Okay.
School as well in Raleigh, so it just the whole pathway kind of shifted to the left after that point. And I mean, the officer route, I guess, would have been, if it was where I could go now, I would. But my goal right now is to be a first sergeant.
Okay.
So, I've been told I probably make a good first sergeant. The officer route, I was chasing that for a very long time, but I'm like, unless there's just some kind of special way I can do it, if not, then my goal is to at least, come out as a first sergeant. So.
Okay, that's what's up. I can see that. I could totally see that. They're right. Whoever's telling you that, they're telling you the truth.
I was trying to say a lieutenant captain like my dad, and they were like, first sergeant. I was like, that's an NCO. They was like, yeah, but first sergeant though. Everybody likes the first sergeant.
They do. They do. First sergeants are awesome. Well, before we get too far ahead, what were your plans after high school? Clearly you mentioned you went to college and you did ROTC. Tell us what that journey was like for you, and what college did you decide to go to?
I went to St. Augustine, or the St. Augustine University now. It's in Raleigh.
Okay.
If anybody knows where Shaw and NC State is, it's the only other black school down there.
Yeah, HBCU. Okay.
Yep. So went to Garinger High School in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then went to St. Augustine and Raleigh, and then in between that, basically training AIT and everything. But ended up going to school in Raleigh. So, and the plan back
Okay.
then was go to school, get commission, the end.
Yeah.
You know, but with college, that ended up, like I said, having my daughter there, and I was still in ROTC,
Mhm.
but didn't end up doing the commission route. I started at grad school at Fayetteville State University, where both of my
Okay.
parents graduated from, and then from there it was into the workforce. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but my goal
Cool.
is one day go back and get my
Yeah.
MBA, or
All right.
either I've seen some degrees that are in social service, so a master's
Mhm.
in social service work. I would like to do that one day as well too.
Was your first degree in social work?
No, my first is business administration and marketing. So,
Oh
which was
wow. Oh
marketing
wow.
and
Okay.
events and communications, and I remember being on the ROTC ball committee, and I've been in the bench for a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Now, the next segment is called Digging Deeper. And during this segment, I'll ask you some thought provoking questions about your personal life and your career. So, are you ready to dig into it?
Okay, I got you.
All right. So, you got to tell us what branch you were in because I didn't even ask you yet. So, what branch did you serve in? And tell us about your journey of going through the military and switching different branches because I know that you went to another branch after the first branch that you joined.
Um, so I started February '98. And that was how my recruiter in high school, I still keep in touch with her today, Sergeant Nicole Peel. She was one of many, I would say, black female veterans or servicemen that I saw at that time. I knew my Aunt Sharon, who was in Desert Storm. I got my cousin Bernadette. I know she was in, but she was a recruiter that, hung around the high school, and,
Mm
she was like, "Hey, you thought about the Army?" And I was like, "My dad's a Marine." And she's like, "Yeah,
hmm.
yeah." But she just thought about the Army, and I've seen
Yeah.
videos about Paris Island. I was like, I don't know about So we just kept, she just kept basically trying to, get me interested. Hey, we thought about this, and telling me about what was
Yeah.
going on and everything. And I was like, okay, the Army. All right, we'll try the Army then. And that was, I hadn't graduated yet at that point. But
Hmm.
just, interested in the military. And like I said, I've seen the uniform all my life. It's, seen the videos and the TV commercials and everything else. But it always, as you know, it's very different once you get in there for yourself, because you get
Yes,
your own
ma'am.
testimony at that point. Videos just
For
don't
sure.
even, it does it, but it's you sitting there is totally different. So, but I, started in '98. My MOS was a '92 Golf. I think they changed that now for Army, but it's
They
Cook.
did. What is it now?
I'm not sure what a Cook is now. I think it might
Okay.
be Golf. But I went to Fort Lee for AIT.
Me
Um,
too.
Yep, quartermaster corps and everything out there. So we train, and I found out then we train, like, for Fort Lee. You train with other services, so I got to train with
Yep.
the Marines, I got to train with the Navy. I was like, okay, oh, this is cool. Okay, but the training environment is different than when you come back home to your unit training.
Right.
Okay, that's different. That's a different environment, because when you go off, that's by the book. That's by all the great equipment. That's the top of the. You're at the school at that point. You come back to
Right.
your unit, and it can be something entirely different. So I started out with an Army Reserve unit for Charlotte, right by the airport, which is the exact same place I am now. But started
Hmm.
by the airport, and then was doing that in between going to school, and then once I was in school, I transferred to Raleigh. So there's a guard unit out there in Raleigh. Same thing, drilling. So I would drive back and forth from home. So it was Raleigh to Charlotte, stuff like that. Going to drill and everything, which I still do today. It's going back to Charlotte
Oh
for drill.
man.
Yeah, I just went down on Friday, so I still do that today. But that was, just still learning the military, learning what is the Army life, like, and getting promoted, and,
Hmm.
fancy uniform where you got to wear your hair and fingernail polish and all the stuff they're talking about now. It's the same stuff we had to learn, before. Um, and then after I was reserve guard, then took a break. Because in that timeline also is the year, during those years, 2008 was when my dad passed away. But
My condolences. I'm sorry to hear that.
oh, thank you. And then after that, I had my son, and I kind of just I took a break, which kind of wish I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't at this point because I'd have been out by now. But I took a bit of a, I took a break.
Yeah.
And then I forgot how I met her. I think probably doing an event. I met a black female recruiter for the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Remember her name,
Okay.
Sergeant Jones, and she was like, "Hey, you thought about the Air Force?" And I was like, Air Force. I don't know anything about. Now, I definitely don't know anything about the Air Force. I'm a Marine baby. I'm in the Army. I can't tell you too
Right.
much about the Air Force except for your what people say. Oh, they fly and they're pilots and they do this and oh, they got
Yeah.
to be smart to be in the Air Force and just. But I was in the Air Force ROTC though. In high.
Mm.
So I was like, I knew something about the Air Force, but as far as actually
Yeah.
doing, I was like, well, don't I have to like do something special? And she was like, no, you can just transfer. Now, not only wrote definition of the word transfer, she's like, yeah, transfer. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. We just gonna move on over, right? I'm gonna switch uniform,
Yeah.
bam, move over. I wish I would have studied the Air Force just a tad bit more. Um,
Mm.
but I mean, I would say for anybody, if I did it back over, I would have did Air Force first. And I actually would have went to
Wow.
the academy. I went to the academy, but the Air Force first. Because it is very different. Army is land nav and in the field and opposite course,
Right.
kind of great stuff. Air Force is go get that book and study and take your CDCs and it's more book work, when it comes to
Wow.
so it's definitely a
But
different
I
kind
would have guessed that. I would have guessed that.
yeah, it's a different kind of focus. So, and then
Yeah.
I found out their commands are called differently and everything, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is something different right here. Ooh, this is something different. This is not. I'm used to hearing either Army commands and cadences or
Right.
Marine cadences. Like I know what that sounds like. Air
Right.
Force went to their tech school, and then they made me their flight, not platoon sergeant. What do they call it? Their flight leader. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay. I started calling commands, and they were like, we don't say it like this. We don't do we don't. And I was like, oh no, it's all I have. All I got is Army and Marine in my head.
Yeah.
The cadences that I'm used to hearing. Like, okay, Air Force got a little different rhythm, a little different cadence. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that journey was definitely different. So, um, and then I've been in several units as far as the Air Force. So I've been in Warner Robins, Savannah, and then now back in Charlotte again. So
Wow. So you've been all over. And I know the rank structure is different, like you mentioned. What rank are you compared to? I guess like are you E6, E7? Like what's your rank?
right now I'm currently a staff sergeant. So
Okay.
I'm
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, so it's staff sergeant, and a lot of that is that when you come in and out, then that's the fine print part about you getting promoted and what how long now you got to start your clock back over when it comes to your promotion.
Mm-hmm.
So because now they have different standards now. So where I would have got promoted for the Army, you move over to the Air
Mm-hmm.
Force, and they're like, okay, great. Here's our standard for E6, which is different from the standard for the Army E6. So
Okay.
definitely.
Wow.
So, and now I'm still in services, what Air Force call it services now. But it encompasses food, lodging, mortuary, and rec.
Oh wow. Oh wow, that's a lot.
Mhm.
Would that transfer over to the civilian world? Like could you go work in a mortuary or
That's one place I don't want to go. But everywhere else, I don't mind going. In the gym, I can do that. I can probably work at the Hilton because I've been lodging NCO for
yeah.
for a while. Um,
Mhm.
Food service, that's simple. Anybody's
Yeah.
restaurant. Yeah, I like to learn everything except for that was that was a hard
So
spot for me to pass was Sudbury and Dover. I was like, nope, that's okay. I'll learn it, but I'd rather study lodging all day long. Um,
okay.
and then
Did
that's
you
that.
get the opportunity to go do it? Like did they ask you to go do any dabble in it a
Oh
little
no, I
bit?
got volunteer for that one. Oh no, I never. I took the test, and I was like, okay, teach me what I got. What we got to learn for this test about mortuary affairs. But I
Okay.
signed up to do anything dealing with mortuary affairs. If I rather get my rope and stuff in lodging, food service, rec, running it, operating a gym, they teach you how to do that.
Mhm.
So all those are great fields.
Why did you decide to join the military in the first place? Like, I guess in my opinion, I'm not gonna speak for you, but I figure your family has something to do with it, man.
Right. I mean, again, just I've seen pictures. Like I said, my dad's a Marine Corps officer, so I saw certain things. You don't really know what that means or what it stands for. Like we used to play with the little we call 'em little green what I'm talking about, little stretchy green things that go on the bottom of the
Oh
boot.
my gosh, boot bands.
That go on the bottom of your, yeah, it's this little green little thing. And we used to
Yes.
play with them. Don't know, you need that for your uniform. That's not something little kids supposed to be playing with.
Right.
Playing with it. Or I remember my dad used to do sit ups up on the couch, and he would put his feet up on the
Hmm.
couch and do sit ups, and we would just playing along, not really knowing this is a PT test. you know,
Yes.
ready, let's play up on the couch and do push ups and sit ups. So I mean, just seeing it, just seeing my dad in it, again, just hearing about my aunt tell stories and stuff, and seeing the pictures and the uniform and the jackets, and hearing about when he went to Okinawa, and hearing about when he went to 29 Palms, and Hawaii. I don't know, I've got
Hmm.
grew up in partially, in Hawaii. My little brother was born in Hawaii as well, and just hearing
Hmm.
all the stories. And so I mean, when I went in, like everybody was like, "What's the surprise?" There's no surprises because with my kids. I'm trying to get my son in there. So I mean, and again, they probably won't be surprised because they're like, "Well, look what you grew up in your life. We're not surprised
Right.
to do this." So, out of all my cousins, I'm probably, especially on my mom's side, I'm the only one that went. But
Wow.
they all look at me like, "Well, of course she did. That just makes sense." What,
Right,
what
right.
else would you be doing? We have besides military. So, my uncle
Yeah.
Dr. Cochran, he's one of the first African Americans to fly for the Blue Angels. Um,
What?
so yeah, if you
That's
look up,
amazing. He needs to come on my podcast.
oh yeah, he got a book and everything. So
Oh,
that's
heck yeah.
yeah. I mean, military, that's all intertwined. My aunt beat Sharon Parker being in Desert Storm. So
Hmm.
I mean, that's I've always seen it, but of course,
Yeah.
seeing it, being it for yourself, it's two different
Two
things.
different things for
Right.
sure.
Now that I mean in
Oh.
it, like, oh, okay, that's what they're talking about.
What's your advice to someone who wants to join the military? I know you spoke on it earlier, like, hey, yo, you should probably join the Air Force first if you are going to join.
Mhm.
But what's some other advice you'd give some people out there?
Same thing I tell my son. Like in the midst of all this craziness, I know the world is going all over the place, but I'm telling you, this is the world where you're not going to be hungry nor homeless. I mean, you want to try real hard to be hungry and homeless because the military, anybody who's ever been it, it's its own little planet. It's a whole, in my
Hmm.
always, it's a whole different world. I go on this world on the weekends. I come back over here and I hop in this world. And from the people to the resources to the benefits to the money to the everything, you in two different worlds. And if you've
Yeah.
never like tasted that world before, you have no idea. Like I'm trying to tell my son, like I'm telling you, go, just do 3 years, and I promise you, in them 3 years, and then you compare that to what your friends are doing and what the rest of the world is doing,
Hmm.
you're gonna go, oh yeah, y'all over here struggling. No, that's not what you want to be doing. You don't want to start off
Right.
like that. You want to start off over here where you have the opportunity, where they have NCOs and officers to
Right.
where, even if you don't know what you're doing, you stumbling, but it's there. It's that structure is designed to help. That's the
Yeah.
purpose of it. Designed to help, to mentor, to guide, to go, hey, you young, you 17, 18. Okay, you may not know. Go see Sergeant so and so. They've been in 20 years. They pull you to the side, talk to you. And of course, companies, can do that too. But it's as you know, it's a different structure. It's not
Right.
a,
Right.
oh, I came in late, showing like me, I ain't got no job tomorrow. Like I got a whole contract. You know what I mean? Like drastic to come out of this year contract. It's and like
Yeah.
the civilian world, there it's right to work. It's maybe I didn't come in. I came in late 3 times. Whatever it may be, and that's it. There's no the process is definitely different. Plus, you're learning more
Right.
skills. You can travel. Of course, like I said, you're getting benefits. You're getting your money on the first and the 15th. So certain things that it's like this is a different world, and unless you've ever been in that world, you don't know what it's like. And I think for the people who've never been in it, and they're like, well, you shouldn't do this and da da da, and it's like you've never been in that. You've never been in a world
Hmm.
where just think about what you need, and it's gonna be there. Just think about it. I need a haircut. Oh, there you go. PX. I need to go get some, whatever it is. Think about it. My midnight meal at 3 in the morning. Up child hall. I mean, like,
Yeah.
just think of it. Think of anything, and I'm guaranteed you can find somebody that can help you. So, like I told my son, you hungry, child hall. But if anything, you be trying to lose weight as much as they tell
Yeah.
you. You be trying to figure out how to get smaller. And I didn't even, you got the gym, you got basketball
Yeah.
courts,
And
you
it's
got
open 24/7. You can go to
right,
the gym anytime.
and it's already at free. It's
Hmm.
part. You know what I mean? So it's like being hungry. You're not gonna be homeless. You got a place to stay. Whether it's the barracks, whether it's base housing, whether it's enough money for your
Hmm.
own spot. You're not gonna be homeless. Go find a base where there's a bunch of homeless people at. You're not gonna find them. you know,
Exactly.
your check. You're gonna get paid according.
Yep.
Your rank. That's you can calculate that today. You don't have to guess on it. You don't have to. I hope the admin person put my check through. And no, just look on the chart. It's right here. Again, hey, what you gonna make? And then as you get, you can see it, so you kind of can see your growth. So, I would definitely encourage anybody I've ran into when they even start to even ask me any kind of questions. I'm like, go. I don't take the baby and all, married, not married, get guy, bye, go,
Yeah.
because compare that world, you out here struggling every day trying to figure out what to do and how to make it and how to. If you can go, take off and go, take off
I
and go.
agree with you 100%. I think, and at
Relax.
least you can use it as a stepping stone, like I did. Like I was in the Marines for 4 years, and I did the Army for 5, and I school paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
I have my master's degree. I got my master's degree when I was in the Army. Like all these different things, like you can get it,
Yeah.
and you don't have to stay in for it. Get what
Tell
you
my
need and get
son,
out.
do 4 years. If at the end of 4 years you like, Ma, I don't like this, I'm gonna be like, cool, no problem. Go ahead. But them four
Yeah,
years, and
it's
I
gonna
compare
change
that.
your life.
Right, and not only is it gonna change your life, it's gonna change your paycheck. It's gonna change your benefit status, depending on your component. It's gonna change all that. So I ain't telling you got to be in there 20, 25 years. You gotta do all that. Sometimes you're 4, you're 6. That's all you need because
For
now it's on
sure.
record. You no matter whatever happens to you in life, you can say, "Hey, I did 4 years. I did 6 years.
Yep.
I did 8, or I did
Yeah.
8.5." Like whatever it is, you can always say that. So.
Well, now we're going to move into another direction. We're going to talk more about your nonprofit. So, can you tell everyone why you decided to start a nonprofit and how'd you come up with the name of it?
That's another story. I'll try to make shorter. That came out of result of my dad passing away, and
Okay.
me being the oldest, and it really was like, what do you do? Like, what do you do with that hole? you know,
Mhm.
Somebody, you born and raised with all your life, and then tomorrow, that's a wrap. They're gone, and they're not coming back forever, and that's it. That's the end of their legacy.
Mhm.
That's the end of the education. That's the end of the Marine career. That's it. It's all gone. It's packed up in a box. Um, and it was just kind of just, I guess, sitting around going like, okay, what I'm supposed to do with this. It started out, in Charlotte,
Mhm.
2014, and it started
Okay.
out as a dinner. Like, it really just started out as a just dinner. I think
Wow.
I probably got the brochure, or the pamphlet, and it was called I think Seeds of Faith or something like that, dinner. Because when the last
Okay.
thing he told me and my brother was to always keep your faith in God. So we was like, it's gonna be a dinner. It's just family. It's just, and it's just, I think might have been even before. No, this is after the funeral. So it was just
Okay.
everybody just sitting around. And I've gone to events before, playing
Mhm.
events and stuff, but I never had like created my own kind of event. So, we did the dinner a couple of times. Um, and then I remember seeing pictures of the Marine Corps ball.
Mhm.
Never been to one, still haven't been to one yet.
What? Oh my god, you need to go to a
So
Marine Corps ball.
I've seen the Commandants. We watched the Commandants Marine Corps ball, I think from
Mhm.
25 from this last year. We watched the whole Commandants,
Okay.
which gave me, of course, some more ideas. But I've never actually been to, like, a real one. But I remember college RCC ball. I remember the high school
Mhm.
ball. I remember the pictures my mom showed me, and just going to events. And I was kind of like, okay, well, let me kind of create something that looks something like that. Again, I'm going off of what I think this is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And then the first event we had was 2014, and I called it a heroes ball because I was like, my mom, my dad's my hero. So and then I
Mhm.
called it ball, and then I came up with an acronym. Ball was building around life's lessons because I'm like, I'm trying to build around him not being here anymore. So, like that's
Mhm.
how I kinda came up with that. We did the first event, 2014, did at the Hilton. And there was a
Mhm.
lot of money. Hilton is still expensive, but it was definitely
Yes.
expensive back then.
Who was it catered towards? Like what type of people were you trying to bring into
I
this
just
ball?
told everybody kind of about it, like, hey, I'm doing something in memory of my dad. He was a Marine.
Okay, okay.
Um, so it wasn't like a vision, a mission statement, and all that stuff wasn't even
Yeah.
created. It was just
Okay.
having an event. I had like 4 vendors there, and everybody, they I had a speaker. So I mean, it was very, I would say, a skeleton, as far as an event.
Mhm.
I got people that we knew from church, to kind of do the artists, and so because again, I'm copying what I think the Marine Corps ball is supposed to look like. I heard they got singing,
Wow.
heard they got
You should have
food.
called me.
I heard they got, what I mean? Like, so I'm thinking of what it's supposed to look like, right? Plus, everything
Yeah.
gone to up to that point, church events. So I'm like, I know what events will look like, but
Right,
for me
right.
to try to plan it and do it, was something different. I've never been like
Yeah.
your event. It was good. Going to everybody else's event. So, I did that. So that's why it was called, the Heroes Ball. Um, and then some after a while, I started discovering that people were getting confused when I put
Mhm.
having a ball, and they're like, the name of the organization is a ball, and I was like, okay, so I got to get my word on right because people they're starting to mess this up, and um,
Right.
the meaning of what I'm doing it. So I want to say about maybe 3-4 years ago, I changed it to support her boots because when I was
Mhm.
trying to explain to people that a hero's ball was for female veterans, and it was like, yeah, but we don't see that anywhere. Like we don't.
Yeah.
Just nothing tells us that, and I was like,
Mhm.
and harder as it was hard enough to come up with the hero's ball, but I'm like, I got to come up with a whole brand new name. So then I was
Yeah.
like, okay, how about support her boots? So it's her, which means women, okay, females, and
Mhm.
then boots is the acronym, which is building around obstacles and providing opportunities toward self sufficiency. So the whole goal is still a social service kind of piece to it because
Yeah.
this whole thing has elements of my mom, has elements of my dad, has elements of my cousins at this point who have passed away, my aunt, at this point. So support her boots is female veteran, but all the parts and pieces to it, if people kind of like, I would say, know who I am and kind of study my history, they'll see the pieces and elements that they're not coming from me. They're coming from a memory of this person or because
Mhm.
this person, I put this piece in there, I put that piece in
So the
there.
people who impacted your life.
Right. So they're a part of the event. So when people say when they see the gala or they see the Soldier Festival, it's like I didn't just come up with this stuff for no reason. Like I'm coming up with stuff on purpose because it's really
Mhm.
in memory of an individual. So um and then Miss Nadine Henry, she was I probably would say even before that's why I don't even say like founder. I kind of say like visionary because she was the one who came to me and was like, well, why don't you kind of turn it into something? And it was like
Mhm.
and turn it into something like a nonprofit. And then the people were, telling me, oh, you could get paid as a nonprofit. I was like, oh, I won't get paid. No, because it's supposed to be in memory of him. I don't need no money for it.
Yeah.
So I kind of shut off the trying to get paid, off a nonprofit thing.
Mhm.
But of course, as discovered, you need a whole bunch, you need money in order to do these
I'm about
events.
to say you need a lot of money to do those things.
Right. And still, I mean, I'm still not saying the money should come to me. I really, the money at this point is becoming to produce the event, to have
Yeah.
the host, to have the artist, and then we turn back around and use that money for clothes, for done funeral expenses during COVID, doing hotel stay, Pampers, wipes, clothes, you name it. Like that's where the money needs to be going. Um, and that's what it ended up turning into. So support her boots.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna ask next. Like, what are you guys doing? You paying for diapers? You paying
Yeah,
for
yeah. So
funeral costs for people?
and that money comes from the tickets. So when we have the red and gold gala, which I did
Mhm.
it call it red and gold gala, I'm thinking of something else, but I couldn't say use that word. So it's the red and gold gala.
Mhm.
The Soldier Festival, which is the festival and it celebrates all branches I had that running for about 8 years or so in Charlotte. I did it 1 year in Fayetteville, did it 1 year virtually during COVID, and the last 2 years been in this area in New Bern and then in Jacksonville. Um,
Okay.
but that's where the money comes in from. I'm working on trying to get somebody that can do this, help all year long kind of funding.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, people, they get tickets to the gala, they get raffle tickets, they get, a vendor table, and that's where the sponsors, that's when the money comes from. So, yep.
Okay.
And then
Awesome.
also my pocket. But other than that, though, that's those are the funding sources. I'm trying to get more funding sources. We have like AARP. They're always they've been a big help ever since Charlotte. So they
Mm-hmm.
financially assist. Utopia is a big financial sponsor. We've had Humana. So I got a whole list between 2014 and now of individuals and nonprofits and businesses that have supported. And it's because of the
Yeah.
cause. It's because of
Yes.
a nonprofit that can assist female veterans like myself, especially those in the Guard and Reserve. As I've discovered more about the Guard and Reserve, and benefits and everything, I really, I don't turn away.
Scarce, if you ask me.
Right, right. I don't turn away any veteran, but I like my priority is going. Who is like me? Who got drilled this weekend and need help?
Right, right.
Because most of the
Yeah.
time, if you're not married or you're not active duty, all these great organizations, they're gonna pass you. They're gonna just pass you over.
Right.
Well, what do you do
Right.
if you're Guard and Reserve and you got kids and you need help with daycare and after school? Like, where are you going for that? Where are you going for that?
Right.
So I've already, I've got 2 kids already. So I'm like, this is not things I'm just saying, oh, it'd be nice to go and help out. I'm like, no, I remember going through some of these programs and coming to some of these organizations and having a
Mm-hmm.
veteran status didn't help me get assistance. It was just great, thank you. But, you know, because those programs aren't a lot of times designed for us as far as Guard and Reserve. They're
Right.
designed for spouse and they're designed for active duty.
Yep.
So not one of
Very
them
true.
spots it's very difficult. So
Now, speaking of all these different events that you have, you got one coming up because I get to host it.
yes,
And I'm super excited about that. Can you tell our listeners the name of this event and what it's going to do for the community?
yes. So February the 21st, which is the in-person version, it's called the Stepping into Self-Care Health and Wellness event. East North Carolina Health and Wellness event. The stepping part, again, for those that know, my dad was a Q, member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. My mom is a Delta. So that's where the stepping part comes in. Black History Month is February. So stepping into self-care is where that title came from. But it's a health and wellness event. It's going to be about self-care, which is the theme for this year. For myself, kind of for the nonprofit, it's self-care because with everything going on in the world and the community, sometimes people's houses, I don't think a lot of attention is brought on by self-care. I have
Mm-hmm.
an outstanding mentor, partner, Marine, and he always talks about self care and therapy. So I said, okay, let me talk about self care this time. Um, and
Yeah.
it's gonna have the vendors, the exhibitors, the jazz artists. I can't wait for you to see Buff and
Yeah, I'm excited.
Devin Dolberry, and we got the 910 steppers and the New Look steppers, and then there's the various vendors that are going to be there. It's going to be sponsored by AARP, which is a big sponsor, Pause of War, Legal Shield, and Utopia. So those are our financial sponsors that make it possible for everybody to come out, hang out at the mall, February 21st from noon until 4 at the New Bern Mall, which means it's open to everyone. It's the mall, walk around, hang out. We're going to be right there in the front, in the courtyard by the Buffalo Wild Wings and all throughout the mall. So you'll be able to hear
Yeah.
us. Of course, you're hosting the event. We're going to have guest speakers.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about self-care, and it's pretty much what does that mean to you? Why is that important? Not just in 26 or, but specifically for veterans. And then, of course,
Mm-hmm.
for female veterans, why is self-care important? As we're drilling, as we're whatever title you are, mom, supporter, partner, spouse, whatever your title is, why is self-care important? We already have over 20 or so participating exhibitors already that are
Mm-hmm.
coming out to support it. So that's everything from education, employment, housing, voting, health and wellness, face painting for the kids, um, a mobile Black History Museum coming down from Charlotte. Um,
Wow.
yeah, this is an all over event. So while I like to do events, I don't like to just do like one little circle. So this is Eastern North Carolina. So if you consider yourself anywhere in Eastern North Carolina, this event is for you. Definitely for you. And then we
For
also
sure.
have for those who may not be able to attend, and you can live anywhere. February the 19th is going to be the virtual edition, so that's going to be easy. Everybody got a phone and a laptop, get right on it. We're going to do it virtually with the guest speakers that are going to be virtually as well. Stream it on Facebook. Tune in, kind of my page, or you can do the registration form. You'll get get your own Zoom link. Tune in, and we're just gonna have a conversation about health and wellness.
Sounds like a plan. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
better go to her page. Speaking of your page, can you tell everyone where they can find you at on social media?
You go to my page, Joy Joie, middle initial R, last name Cook. Send me a friend request. It's also support her boots on Instagram as well too.
Okay. Now, before we get done talking about your nonprofit, I have to ask, like, what are some challenges that you've had to deal with owning a nonprofit so far
Hmm.
that you
um.
want to talk about, by the way, that you want to talk about?
Yeah. I would say the money, the marketing, and the people. I think those are the three things that help with any organization: the money, marketing, and the
Mm-hmm.
people. Because you need people to do all that. You need the volunteers that understand the definition of the word volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
The funds to be able to make it happen, but the teamwork is, I think, that is there. If you have a good team and you add on to your team, with what I do, people come, people go. They're here because they want to be here for the event, and then they're gone. They're here to help with Soda Festival, then they're gone. They're here to help with the gala, and then they're gone. So it's always like a new wave of people that constantly want help, which is a good thing because steady adding to the people who are helping. That's
Right.
how I've discovered new sponsors. That's how I've discovered new vendors. So
Yeah.
new artists. So I definitely welcome people who kind of come and go when it comes to the nonprofit, but having that core group of people that you can sit down and with. We have an advisory council, and that's that core group that we meet with all the time. They're there all year long, regardless of what we have
Mm-hmm.
going on. Because at the end, it's about what can I do to support female veterans, and if it's not even
Mm.
about, even if I didn't have the event this month, what else would I be doing? Whether it's a workshop, whether it's putting them on and saying, "Hey, I know somebody got a podcast, and they probably would like to interview you." Whatever the opportunity is, I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. So, what can I do to support us? What can I
Right.
do to help us out? So, um, I would say that, yeah, the money, the people, the volunteers, those definitely can be challenging. But once it comes together, it's like magic. If people come out, they're able to support it, and I love seeing it. Once you get to that day, and you don't, because you never know who you meet, you never know who you run
Yeah.
into. The same I went to, the same way I met you, came to Latoya's event. Never,
Yep.
never know who you're gonna walk, meet and greet. So that's why sometimes the people are like, well, who's coming and what's the anticipated audience? And I would just say show up, because you never know. Like they say, you never knew who was going to be in that room that can give you that
Right.
card and give you that piece of advice that you can, that's the next person on your podcast. That's the next business
Yep.
that can get a grant. That's the next artist that you need for your upcoming jazz festival or event, or whatever's going on. So just sometimes just showing up and being there, you never know who's actually gonna be there. So
For sure. Now, I have one more question I want to ask you.
okay.
Can you please tell us how your events have impacted the community? Has someone came up to you and gave a testimony like, yo, this really, really helped me through whatever situation that they said? Do you mind sharing a little bit with us about who it's impacted?
Yes, I've heard that a lot throughout the years. Helping again with simple. I don't want to call it simple, but things like hotel stay. You know, helping people with going through peer support classes. We paid for that one year. Um, Helping those, with food, with funeral expenses. That year we bought that wreath. For a friend of mine. But just I've had different people telling thank you, because I'm not the biggest nonprofit. We don't have the most amount of money, but the point is
Right.
to have the impact, and the point is to have the engagement with the community, with female veterans, to say, hey, thank you for serving, thank you for helping us out. Thank you for supporting us. And again,
Mm.
that's why I'm like, I changed the names, like, we're supporting. We're not, the handout, or not that you got to be down and out and you got to have 10 things wrong with you in order to get help.
Right.
I'm just here supporting, and a support can be in any kind of way, whether
Right.
it's learning a better self-care techniques, or it's, hey, my son is going to the YMCA, and, I need some help on the application fee, and of course all that
Yeah.
stuff, funding pending. But I mean, just, yeah, I've definitely had people coming to me and, and say, hey, thank you for doing this. And, even though there's other places veterans can go to get help, as well. But I think we're kind of special because we stand out and kind of fill the gaps, to where if you went to maybe a larger organization, their focus is something different.
Right.
Where my
Right.
focus is like, what do you need? If it's within our realm, or it's within the funding, what do you need in order, for us to help you? And if for some reason I can't, then there's the database of the network of people that I can try to reach out to and call and go, hey, I got this friend of mine, I couldn't really do a whole lot, but I know that you have, the resource, or you may have the connection, and
Hmm.
go from there. So
Okay. Now, this next segment is called Uncomfortable Questions. This is the fun part, the games. And during this segment, I'll ask you some either or topics. And after you decide on one, you must choose one. Then you
okay,
have to explain why you're choosing it. So, are you ready?
got it. Yep.
Okay. Would you rather be full time in the military or be a reservist?
Ooh, I'll be full time tomorrow if you can tell me how to get there. You can tell me how to get over that bridge, because I've been there before. I've tasted it a couple of times, and I'm like, God, just give me 6 months. Give me 6 months of straight active duty, and I'm out. Because
Okay, okay. Why?
that's a whole different, that's a whole different kind of check. That's a whole different kind of opportunity. That's a whole different, and I've tasted it before. Been deployed during COVID, deployed with
Hmm.
Hurricane Helene. I don't know, might possibly go with the snowstorm, and it's
Yeah.
different. When you're active duty, it's a whole, that's even a bigger world, even better world. Reserve world, okay, that's a cool world, but you step your foot in the active duty world, and oh yeah, it's, you good at that point.
Okay. Marine Corps or Air Force?
Now, see, that's a messed up question because I was a Marine Corps baby. um,
Your daddy listening. He might not be here. He listening to you.
I would say the Marines. I mean, even though I did not go, I kind of went to what I was said. I've like tried or did something with it. Like, if I could, we on Camp Lejeune. If I could somehow work with the Marines, like I
Mm-hmm.
did discover, I am a member of the Montfort Marine Association, which,
Mm-hmm.
check out that Montfort Marine Museum. If you have never been there, you have to go there.
I
Montfort
know
Marine,
I need to go. I know I need to go.
man,
I
you need
haven't
to do a
been.
whole podcast with Keisha and everybody else out there. Yes, going out there. And that's the first time I ever even heard about that when I came here. It's all Black
Oh,
Marine Corps history. Got to
yeah,
go out.
yeah.
Yes,
Well,
very, very nice.
I will say that I did interview a Montfort Point Marine, but he passed away, but I did get a chance to interview one. So
Okay,
that was pretty cool.
check out Magic Capers. Look him up. If you don't know him, get to know him. He
All
about to win
right,
that.
I will.
Get to
I
know
will.
him. He's already famous, but he might get a little bit famous even more in a second. But yeah, get
Okay, okay. I'll check him out.
Google
Home
Major.
cooked meal. Say that again.
I said Google Major James Capers.
All right, I will.
Mhm.
Home cooked meals or restaurants?
Um, I was saying home cook right now.
Okay, you said right now, so
Yeah,
why?
because I can't do a dash, and I can't snowing. But yeah, but I mean, I like to cook too, so that's fine. I would go with home cook.
Okay. Streaming services like Netflix or social media apps?
I'm on both. Um,
You can only choose one or the other.
we do a lot of Netflix. um, I would say probably social media, because there's so much information out there to learn. There's plenty of entertainment,
Hmm.
books, and everything, but some things I've discovered and people have discovered just by sitting up, scrolling, looking at pages, looking at groups, looking
For
at, oh,
real.
I did this. I'm on LinkedIn. Oh, they're the president of that. I'm over here on Instagram. This over here. So I mean, you can spend all day long on social media. So
Okay.
social
Eating
media,
healthy or exercising?
and because I have a PT test coming up, I'm gonna go with exercising. Matter of fact,
Okay.
yeah, I gotta get smaller for this PT test. So I'm gonna go exercising.
Okay. And the last one, and I'm interested to see which one you're gonna choose: college or entrepreneurship. Yes, this
I
seems
would
like a tough one.
I would kind of say because I still want to go back to school, but this time going to college, but getting the knowledge to be the entrepreneur. So
Mm,
be the entrepreneur, yes, but you need sometimes you need that paper, you need that knowledge, you need that credential behind you to
for
help you to
sure.
be an entrepreneur. But yes, I still like to go to school.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now the final segment is called Rants with Sharryse. And during
Okay.
this segment, you get to rant about whatever you want. It could be about people not using signal lights, people not bathing properly, whatever, people not using deodorant. It's
Wow.
all on whatever you want to talk about. But
Okay.
after you share your rant, you have to share a solution to the problem. So
Okay.
the floor is
I got
yours.
um some things I would like to talk about. I'm gonna put on the blue hat for a second,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say, um, as vice president for NAACP, I would say go vote. I tried to tell y'all this before. Go vote. Go look up your voting status. Know who you're voting for. Know the candidates. Do your research. Don't call us and go, who do I vote for? No, you're supposed to know that for yourself at this point. Study for
Mm-hmm.
yourself is what it says. Study so thyself. Okay, so go study for yourself. Look up the candidates. Make sure that you vote because voting has more impact than the complaining, than the posting on the social media, than they having all these unnecessary meetings and everything. Your vote has more impact than all of that. So I
Yeah.
would say go and vote. Please go and vote. If you, I mean, go vote. You can vote from anywhere. I did it during Hurricane Helene, so I wasn't even in my own county, so that's how I know you can vote practically from anywhere. Whether it's absentee, you know, right now we got the primaries and stuff coming up. We got the election coming up for March, then of course we got November. So take some of these snow days and look up your voter registration. Make sure you are current. Your address is current. You know your ward. You know your precinct. You know exactly where you need to go to vote, and then take your car and go grab 5 people off your block and take them with you to go and vote. So I
Well,
would,
that was the solution and rant all into one.
mhm, yep, that's what I would say. I would say, please go and vote. Do not call and ask NAACP who to vote for because that's not the answer. The
Right.
answer is I went online, I saw some brochures, I went to the Board of Elections, I did all my homework. You know, most of these candidates got a Facebook page, they have a website. Go study for yourself so you can compare and go, okay, so she voted for this and he voted for that, and you know for yourself, and you know, you're not letting anybody else try to influence your decision because as we have discovered, how we vote matters. If people didn't
Oh
know this
yeah.
already, how we vote matters. Who you vote for matters. So
Mm-hmm.
I would just say, yeah, go and vote. Go and
For
vote.
sure.
You can't get out the driveway because it's snowing. This is a good time if you to go look up your voter registration.
For sure. Well, before you go, can you please share your social media one more time with our listeners and tell everybody where they can sign up at to go and check out this self care event that we have going on?
Yes. So again, I'm on Facebook. Joy Joie. Middle listener R, last name Cook. Y'all see the profile picture has the part of the flyer on it. So that's mine. Instagram is support her boots. If you like to come to the event on February 21st, it is free to attend for the public. There is a donation fee if you like to be a vendor. Yes, I'm still accepting vendors. You can even y'all can call me. I got 704-380-7686. You can also there's a way, I'm sorry, there's a way, maybe put it in the chat. Or in the when you post this to put the registration form. So it's www.bit.ly bit.ly/SHB and self-care. So that
All
is the
right.
link, the registration form. But if not, reach out to me, call me, text me, and I can get you that form. But we're looking forward to have a great, great time in person on the
Oh
21st
yeah.
and virtually. So
Oh
if you have
yeah.
once again, it's virtually, so it's easy. Two opportunities, two times for you to participate. For, into the self care. We got some awesome guest speakers from different backgrounds. We're talking about self care. We got some awesome artists. I can't wait for them to come out, and it's going to be engaging. It's going to be impactful, and you definitely need to come out and check it out.
I'm excited about it. Yes. Well, that was it. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about yourself, your personal life, and letting us see the founder behind all of these great things. We appreciate you.
Cool. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for hosting it as well. You got to come out,
My
bring your
pleasure.
crew, bring your
I
followers,
am.
tell them to come out. It's open to the public, so yes, you can come out, hang out at the mall with us on Saturday, Newburgh Mall, in Newburgh, North Carolina. Come out, hang out with us at the mall. Oh, I've got one more thing to mention real quick.
Yeah, tell him. Tell him.
Got one more thing. The raffle, and I don't know how I forgot about this. The raffle, $5 raffle. Now, we got the new edition, Tony Braxton and Boys and Men concert coming up, right? Yes, they're
Mm-hmm.
playing in Charlotte and they're playing in Greensboro. Now, by coming to the event on February 21st, you have an opportunity to purchase a raffle ticket for a pair of tickets, thanks to our friend the ARP for sponsoring that. For that concert. So
Woo! That's gonna be crazy.
simply by showing up, go ahead and get your raffle ticket, and then we can announce the winner on the night before the event is over, of who's going to wear the pair of tickets to that Boys and Men New Edition and Tony Braxton concert.
Yeah, make sure y'all so they have to purchase the raffle ticket in order to
Yes.
be in
Mm-hmm.
okay. Well, there
Which
y'all go.
that's optional, but it's a $5 ticket for those tickets that are way more than $5. I'll just say it that way.
All right. Well, again, thank you again. I won't take up any more of your time. It was a pleasure, Joy. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Miss Sharryse, and I look forward to seeing you there. And continue what you're doing with your podcast, and I hope it continues to grow and touch a lot of people. So I
Thank
definitely
you so
definitely
much.
appreciate it. Yep. Thank you, fellow veteran. I appreciate that.
For sure. And thank you for listening to Connect Like Minds.